Good morning, welcome back. Happy New Year, all the things, right? So we are going to open up the February 17th, 2022 Concord Middle School Building Committee meeting. And in doing so, there are a couple new members. So as I take a roll call, I just want to welcome them and allow them to say hello if they're with us today, and a few words if they want to, but no pressure. So, and it looks like there's a new order. Alexa Anderson, you are first alphabetically, girl. Are you with us today?
I am with you, present.
Hey, Happy New Year. Good to see you. Okay. I guess I've seen a few of you since the new year. I don't think we've had an official meeting though. So anyway, Alexa's here. Court Booth.
Present. Morning.
Hi, Court. Heather Bout.
Here. Good morning.
Hi, Heather. Good morning. Frank Cannon.
I'm here.
Hi, Frank. Justin Cameron.
Morning.
Good morning, Justin. The happiest guy of the bunch. Peter Vashalis. I saw you in your car, Peter. Oh my God, your dog.
With the dog, yeah.
Oh,
Dog's
yeah.
stealing the show,
Heading
Peter,
up.
sorry.
Yes. Right
Heading
over
up
your
north
shoulder.
to do some skiing. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Present.
Where are you going?
Killington.
Killington. Good for you. We're right behind you. We're going to go skiing this weekend. All right. John Harris. Oh, sorry. Peter says, I'm here. Don Goriello. John Harris.
Here.
Hey, John. Russ Hughes.
Russ is at Peabody attending to an issue, just to remind us why we need a new school. So,
That's a decent excuse. So
Yeah.
good for him for handling what he needs to. We'll miss him today. Lori Hunter.
I'm here. Good
Matt
morning.
Johnson.
Present.
Hi, Matt. Amanda Cohn.
Here.
Hey, Amanda. Carrie LaFleur. Is she with us? If folks don't know,
Hi.
Carrie's, hi.
Hi, Dawn. I'm here. I'm on my cell phone right now.
Oh, okay, very good. Welcome, Carrie. And I think everyone knows Carrie, interim town manager. So we're going to welcome her with open arms and bring her up to speed on where things are if she needs to be brought up to speed. Otherwise, welcome and follow along and speak up if you've got questions on anything. So
Great.
Thanks for-
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Carrie. Pat Nelson. I swear I got an email from her earlier this morning. She's around, so we'll see if she joins late. Chris Popoff.
Here.
Hey, Chris. Charlie Parker is not with us today. He's got a medical appointment he needs to deal with, so we wish him well today. Matt Root.
Present.
Hi, Matt. Jared Stanton.
Good morning.
Good morning. Stephen Stashewski, did I say that right? Is Stephen with us today? I'm terrible, so I promise. I have the Shay list down, so I'm good on Peter now. So, is Stephen with us? Do I see him? No, I don't see him, but I promise to get better at saying his name over the course of time. I will get there. And now I see Pat. Hey, Pat.
Hi, good morning. Sorry I'm late.
No, that's fine. So just so folks know, and maybe Matt Johnson can speak a little bit about our membership because he spearheaded and worked with the select board to bring a couple new members. One is the Heather Bout as a community member, former school committee, long-term volunteer now. And then of course, Stephen, he is also a community volunteer and has construction experience. So Pat and I were able to meet him last fall and we welcome him with open arms and look forward to his construction experience as we move this project forward. So Matt, am I missing anything?
No, I think you've summarized it well. Of course, Carrie LaFleur coming in as the new town manager member, and then the voting status of members changed. I don't know if we're planning to discuss that, but Carrie LaFleur had suggested that since as town manager, she would be in the position of signing the contracts for this project. felt that really it was clearer that if her role was there, that she not be voting on those same agreements. And she also suggested that the same would apply to her staff, so the town staff. Meanwhile, Lori looked at the school staff in the same way, and even offered to make herself not a voting member. But on further consideration, we felt that the school superintendent should be a voting member of this body. So now I believe we have 13 voting members out of the group. And so it's, you know, I think it's probably more of a ceremonial difference. I think in this group we've had, I doubt if it would have really changed any of the decisions we've had up until now. And I do expect that we will continue to operate more or less with consensus going forward. So those were the changes, and everyone is appointed to the end of the project. So just to let you know, it's not over yet. So
You're in it for the long haul, everyone. Thank you for that reminder, Matt. That was a detail that I knew about, but it had sort of forgotten in the course of other things happening, other exciting things. So I may need a refresher on who's voting and not. And Lori, I may ask who puts this together? We made the agenda with the membership at the bottom. I may need like a little who votes asterisk or something on it. Maybe Hill.
Yeah, we can revise that. We can
Perfect.
show that on here.
Yeah, I was thinking at first Aaron did this, but I realized you guys do. So we can get that list to you on voting. So when I or Pat need to take
Perfect.
a roll call vote, that would be quite helpful in who we're asking and who we're not. So today may be a little clumsy because I'd forgotten about that. So
I mean, as strange as it may sound, someday we may have an in-person meeting and be able to take a voice vote.
Yeah,
I know,
that would be
right?
lovely. That would be great.
Yes, it would be. So hopefully soon. All right, so I guess that's everything on the front end, just as far as membership and changes. And just want to remind everyone that special town meeting went so well. Huge props to the town, the town moderator, the select board, the finance committee, the school committee, everyone who played a role, obviously our committee, everyone who played a role in the success of that. So thank you to all of those. And I'm sure I've forgotten some folks. And then of course at the ballot. So we are moving forward, which is exciting. So here we are, we have Hill and SMMA with us. Their contract amendments are underway as far as approval and review of those. So just so everyone knows, the contract was signed through the end of schematic design. And what happens, and that's normal, what happens is that now they put in an amendment for the balance of the project through, closeout. So which means like after construction and the whole closeout process. So again, they're in it for the long haul as well as us. So I think there are some new team members, so I'm going to turn it over to Hill and Lorraine. I don't know that, I think everyone on your team still, we know everyone, but if we don't, please introduce.
We're gonna,
them.
they won't be here today, but our team is growing. Obviously, as the scope of the project is growing, you'll see more team members come along to certain meetings as appropriate.
Absolutely. All right. And then Ian, Peter, I'm not sure who on your team wants to do some intros with some new team members.
Sure. Yeah, I'll start here. So glad to be back to see everyone again here, and we look forward to get starting in earnest on design, the design phase. As Don said, we are in the process of getting signed up through the rest of the project and through closeout and everything. So we've added some staff accordingly as we move forward here, and we've got two new faces in the crowd today. Sue McCann, if you can wave there. Thank you, Sue. So Sue's coming on as an assistant project manager to support the job. Sue, do you have anything you want to add or say to today?
Everybody, thanks, Ian. Just that I'm really excited to be on this project. I come from 24 years in the Boston Public Schools as an implementation project management person, not the in Boston, and so I'm excited to go on this leg of the fantastic journey that we're on. So thanks. I look forward to working with y'all.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Sue.
And then the other team member I'd like to introduce is John Cutler. John's coming on as a project coordinator. He's going to be helping us out, in the background with a number of tasks as we move forward. So,
All
John.
right.
Welcome, John.
Yeah, welcome, John. There's John.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Look forward to working with you all.
Excellent. Welcome,
John
John,
John.
has the,
I was amiss, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, John has the task of doing meeting minutes and whatnot for us. So you'll see those coming out from John in the future. And then as far as the rest of the team, we've got Peter Martini still as the principal in charge. I'm still here as the senior project manager / project director. We're hoping to add we're proposing another project manager to come on a little further along in the design. We'll have a full-time site manager when construction starts up. And we kind of have a scheduler in the background as well to help out with scheduling exercises, scheduling reviews that we hope to engage soon. So.
And Dawn, I just wanted to say Nicole, I had not noticed you'd logged on. So Nicole from You and Cole, Nicole Branola, is one of our members of our team who's you're going to see more of. You know Keith and Bill, and they're both on today. And
Excellent.
Mr. Matt Rice.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi, Keith. Hi,
Good morning.
Bill. Can see you down there. All right. Great. Is that everyone? Does everyone know everyone? Just thought it would be helpful to take a moment as we go around to make sure everyone is familiar with who's with us and what their roles are. So excellent. And Ian sort of teed up a good segue into meeting minutes approval. We have December 2nd and 9th in front of us. I trust that folks have had a chance to review them.
I was fine with the second meetings from the second, but minutes from the second, but I had comments on the ones from the 9th.
Okay. Hit us with them, Matt. What comments? Wait, which one?
So the first is a trivial point on page 2, paragraph, was it 5? The one that starts with Matt Johnson. And line 4, it says coming in too high, it should be TOO, not TO. But that's a small thing. But the more important point is on page 3, the language of the motion. So if you check the tape, what happened is we discussed that number, and Charlie had proposed that we round up to 102,816,000. And so that was the motion that was seconded and passed. And the same thing with on page 4, Carlin Reed, the third paragraph there, that number should read 102,816. Then the other 2 points were on page 3, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. Amanda Cohn, her last name's misspelled. The H and O should be switched. And then finally on page 3, at the very next to the last line, I believe I was asking about whether the middle school building committee was prepared for the public hearing.
Great. Good feedback, Matt. Thank you. I had one small grammatical thing I picked up this morning as I was reviewing these ahead of time. On page 2, the paragraph that starts with Peter Fashalis, it has a double expressed asked if I don't know which, which verb we want there, but I suspect they aren't both needed. Or if something's missing, but something there's a little bit off grammatically. Does anyone else have any feedback?
I
And that
did
was
have
still on
one
the
more,
9th.
which
I'm
was
sorry.
under next steps. It also says the town hearing. It should say the public hearing, I
Public.
believe.
Good, thanks, Matt. Okay, anyone else? Any changes? Anything on those? Otherwise, I'm going to do a roll call. I would entertain a motion. To approve the minutes as amended today. Would anyone like to make that?
So
motion?
moved.
Thank you. Any seconds?
Second,
Okay. And, all right, I'm gonna do a roll call, but I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember who's voting or not. And Matt, I couldn't find your notes on that in short order. So, just,
any town employee other than Lori is not a voting member.
okay, so.
Correct.
So that includes
Town or
John.
school, Dawn.
Town or school. I
Ross.
should say the school isn't necessarily the town.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so let me see if I have this right. This will be my test for the day. I've got not voting, John Harris, Russ Hughes, Jared Stanton, and Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, am I missing anyone?
Yeah, I won't vote either.
Oh, Amanda. Thank you
And
for the
Lori,
reminder.
I mean, and I'm sorry, not Lori, and Carrie, who's
Carrie,
on. Yeah.
Of course. Okay. All righty then. So let me. Okay.
My
Alexa,
hope was that
so
it would
we had a
simplify
motion.
things,
Did
but
we?
it's not.
What'd you say, Matt?
My hope had been that it would simplify votes, but so far. it's not.
No. It's only this first time because I don't want to call on someone if they're not a voting member. So it's my fault for not being prepared. Blame me. It's all my fault. One last thing. I can't remember if anyone seconded. I know Heather made the motion.
Matt Johnson did. He said.
Oh, Matt did? Oh,
Yep.
can I start over? So we had a motion and a second. Is that right?
That's right.
Oh, I gotta get the cobwebs off. Sorry, guys.
Removing the.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will take a roll call vote. Alexa Anderson,
Yes.
Court Booth,
Yes.
Heather Bout,
Yes.
Frank Cannon,
Yes.
Peter Fashalis.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Matt Johnson,
Yep.
Pat Nelson. You with us still, Pat? Maybe she walked away. Chris Popoff.
I'm here, yes.
Oh, okay. Pat's a yes. Chris Popoff.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris. Charlie's not with us today. Matt Root.
Yes.
Thank you. And I think Steven's not with us today. Did I miss anyone? Did I call you, Lori?
No, so I'm a yes.
No. Okay, thank you. All right, very good. So that motion passes and we're through the meeting minutes. All right, I promise this will get easier. Has there been any correspondence? No?
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
So let's see. We have not, I just wanted to mention, we have not had official committee correspondence since we last met, but I guess I wanted to kind of mention, because I'm probably lucky enough having been running communications to have heard from a bunch of people after the town meeting and election. And so I just wanted to share some of what I have heard that was kind of meant for, oh, share this with the committee, it's for everyone, which was so many congratulations and so much support. I want to take a sec also and just kind of reiterate what Dom said, which is we got through. Like, I feel like we should all be setting off fireworks here now and celebrating. We're really doing this. And to hear someone say when we start construction is really exciting. So we did hear from a bunch of people, from town committee members, from residents, from people who have interacted with us, just saying congratulations and thank you so much for all the work that went through. We got so many thanks. And some of these are even verbal. So I just want to share that with everybody. There's a lot of appreciation for all that's gone into this this process from the town, from residents, from everybody. And then so that's kind of it on correspondence, since I know communications is next, and there isn't a big communications update, so to speak, because we haven't done all that much since our town meeting and election. But I do want to also thank everyone for all the input that you guys helped with on all the communications leading up to the town meeting and election. You know, so many of you were active, you know, on panels, in discussions. Don and Pat and Lori especially spent hours and hours in information sessions and coffees, and that's hugely appreciated. Alexa was critical and central in putting all of this together with me. And we have gotten some great feedback from both town employees and volunteers and committee members, as well as other residents, saying that I actually heard multiple times that this was the most inclusive town project process that they had ever seen. And that was from a few people who don't give out compliments that easily like that. So I just wanted to share that with everyone, because I know from the beginning, we all talked about the fact that one of our biggest committee goals was to make this a really collaborative, transparent town project. And I feel like to this point, we've done that really well. So I just wanted to thank everybody for your help in that, and say, let's celebrate today. We're building a building. It's really exciting.
So a couple things on the heels of that. One, if we were in person, I would have brought treats, but sorry. First time we're in person, maybe we'll celebrate. But second, huge thanks to Heather and Alexa. The amount of, I mean, while Pat and Lori and I and others all contributed, we were not organizing, we were not pulling these coffees and meetings and panels together. And that took a lot of work in both getting the information out and sharing it, but also, you know, coordinating who was at what event. I know in all of the ones I took part in, they were really, really helpful and well attended. And I think the information that was shared was critical, because for those that were in the room or in any room or in their car at special town meeting, there was not one question about what we were doing or why. And Lori and I at one point looked at each other, we were like, oh my gosh, and everything got answered ahead of special town meeting. So huge accolades to our communities, our communications subcommittee and everyone on this committee for participating, being part of the process and helping us get through. So I slept well that night of the special town meeting, then of course after the ballot as well. So thank you to both Alexa, Heather, and everyone. So well done.
Yeah, I just wanted to make the comment. It was funny as the days were drawing near to town meeting, Heather and I kept looking at each other saying, oh my gosh, is another coffee necessary? Is another email necessary? And what, just again, as we all move on to the next project in our own capacities, potentially as members in another iteration of a project like this, I couldn't believe the amount of engagement at the end. When we thought we had reached everybody who was interested and who cared, another dozen people showed up at a coffee who hadn't been there before. And again, these were in these last days and weeks, which I don't think we frankly expected. So it is a sort of referendum on no communication is too much communication. So that was a surprise to me, and I didn't think it wasn't intuitive to me. So it surprised me. So remember it for next time, everybody, as you join these committees, is my takeaway.
It's so true. I showed up to one maybe the week before or the week of, and Heather and I were like, oh, it'll be, you know, a handful of folks. And it was like 30 people or something. It was great. It was well attended, engaged folks with great questions. So
the day before, I think we had more than a dozen people on a coffee. So
yeah, it was great. Yep. Agreed, Alexa. Great point. And, you know, I'm glad you guys kept up the pace instead of dropping off, because I think it made a difference. So great job. All right. So that's anything else on correspondence or communications? If not, we'll
That's
move
it.
forward
Thank
with
you
this.
so much.
we'll give everyone a break for a bit.
Exactly.
All right, schedule update. We're moving along to schedule update. I assume Ian, you'll grab hold of this, or Ian and Lorraine collectively, however you guys want to bring us up to speed?
Can you see my screen here?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did highlight voting members here, so hopefully that's helpful moving forward.
That's great, Ian. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. So getting into the presentation portion of the meeting here, we wanted to go through schedule, big picture schedule, and then dive into design development schedule and design schedule details, and then talk about value management, open items, and kind of next steps moving forward. So the first thing we wanted to do is just have a schedule recap. So this is the same schedule that we looked at last year, just to refresh everyone of where we're at. So we just got through the vote and approval process. So we're looking at a 12-month design period here from this February to next February. We'll start a pre-qualification process, gearing up for the bid this fall. And then we're targeting bid and award in the spring of 2023, and starting construction in May 23, moving through the opening in April of 2025. So a 24-month period there. And then on the heels of that, once everyone is into the new building, we've got the existing Sanborn school demo and the new field construction, which we're estimating at 7 months, and then kind of the final punch list and close out of the project thereafter. And then also allowing time for the grass establishment for 2 growing seasons before the fields can be ready. So we're projecting fall 2026 for the fields opening. So just a quick refresh there. Something that we want to do during the design development phase is really zero in on the construction schedule, the construction and punch list and move-in schedule. So do some refinement here on timelines and kind of see what it's really going to take to move everyone into the new facility, talk through those details a little more. And, we want to engage our scheduler from our New York office to help us validate the construction schedule as well.
Yeah, Ian, I think that it's important to note that this schedule, it works well with the seasons and the construction winter conditions we have to deal with up here in New England. We've got some good partners in the general contractor industry where I came from. And so we're planning on having one of those when the plans get a little bit more developed to, as a contractor, do a construction schedule. So we'll have that. It's also important right now that they're all dealing with the issues that we know about getting materials and supply chain and things like that. So someone who can just take one of their schedulers, use some of their historical analysis on buildings like this, and get like a third opinion. Our guy and us at Hill can do a pretty good job, and we have a record of doing a good job on putting a schedule together. But I think it's important to get that extra advice. So just to let you know, along with cost, we're doing 3 cost estimates. We need to continue to do schedule estimates along the way. So just a comment. Thanks, Ian.
Yep. Any comments, questions on the overall schedule? Good. Okay. I will turn it over to Lorraine to go through the DD milestones.
Thanks, Ian. So this is a draft. I'm still working with our team. We're working with Mitch. We're looking at where we are when we want to be targeting for permitting with the town. But this is a big picture of what the design development phase will include for major milestones. So typically towards the end of DD, that's when we're going to look to do some of our permitting. We need to advance the design, advance a lot of the work before we're ready to submit through the town. We will be getting our package to the estimators in approximately 16 weeks. So it seems like a long time for you, but for us, when we're designing it, and Don knows this, that 16 weeks goes pretty quickly. So we're already underway. Estimating takes about 3 weeks as we get further into design. That estimating.
Too, Laura. We never leave before 8:08. You need to be moving.
Sorry.
Life goes on.
So, you know, 3 weeks is the appropriate amount of time for an estimate at DD. Obviously, the drawings are going to advance, specifications are going to advance, and we'll probably carry 3 weeks through the rest of the estimating phases as well. We've then provided 2 weeks, which we hope would be sufficient to provide those estimates to committee, have any discussions around what's in those costs, whether any value management is needed or not, and then look to package that final package up. And during that same time frame, overlapping concurrent, there'd be an OPM and commissioning agent review with a target to complete the DD phase by around July 12th. So starting February 7th, started, you know, maybe not quite February 7th, but we're a week ago. We're looking to finalize around the middle of July. I see Matt Johnson has a hand up.
Yeah, so having been a member of the planning board in the past, I'm just looking at these dates and trying to understand the implications. Are you saying you're going to be filing the site plan approval application in August and you expect approval in October?
Nope, as I said, I had plugged in just the first dates. We would assume a couple of hearings, Matt. So this is a draft. I'm working with Niche, our civil engineer, who will be doing the permitting. So this will get updated. For now, I only plugged in one hearing.
Yeah, I would expect a minimum of 2 hearings.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
you know, I just know that having done a number of these site plan approvals, they can drag on.
Yep.
I just want to be careful.
Yeah, no, this is, and that's why I definitely had a big bold draft up at the top of this. So for now, I just wanted to see when the planning board meetings were. There is no, there were some dates on the town calendar, so we just wanted to plug them in and see when we would be looking to file. And then working with our civil engineer, we'll plug in hearing dates and give them time for in between follow up a hearing, you know, how much they need to prepare for the next hearing. So this will evolve and will expand.
Putting it in August, that might have an impact, but I mean, they usually meet twice a month, so.
Yep, that's what I saw. So we will continue to update this and evolve this, and hopefully by our next meeting, we'll have a final draft for you to review.
Lorraine, just one other comment quickly. Thank you for doing all this. And on that note, thinking about the hearings and everything too, at some point, we'll do this offline, but I would love to connect on kind of when it makes sense throughout this process to do more public outreach. And what, you know, at some point, I'm sure we'll have some, you know, some more information sessions and things like that as we lead up to hearings and all that, but I would love to get a feel for kind of what typically happens.
Yep.
And then we'll Concordize it.
Yeah, and Lorraine, just one other point is, because it comes up frequently with applicants, is that, you know, when revisions are made, you know, it usually takes maybe 2 weeks to turn around a set of revisions, and then town staff needs a minimum of 10 days or so to review revisions before a meeting would happen. So just keep all that in mind as well. So it's probably a month between meetings where there, you know, would be revisions proposed or made.
Yep. And that's why I'm working that out right now with Steve. So we'll plan that in, Steve from Niche.
Yep. So just to highlight too, the estimating portion, it'll be the same estimating exercise that we went through for schematic design with the 2 estimators. So SMMA has AM Fogarty on retainer to do that, and we have PM&C. So it's the same 2 estimators. So that'll be the same type of process you see here at the estimating.
Ian, just in the spirit of Heather saying that, you know, we should pat ourselves in the back a little bit. SMMA during the feasibility and schematic hit the dates. And they've earned everybody's trust on being able to hit scheduled dates. So number one, I'm glad that Lorraine's presenting the schedule because we all own it. And number two, that it's going to be dependent on the town in many cases to make sure that their decision-making occurs and their reviews occur in the timely manner on this schedule so that SMMA can continue to meet the dates. So thanks to SMMA.
Can I just ask a question? It looks like number 11, DD package to estimators, Monday, 7, well, did I miss that? That's not going. Like that's
No, it's
clearly not ready.
5/27. Yep, it goes out on 5/27. So that's,
Okay,
so it's
that's
the
when
end
it's
date.
going
It's the
to them.
finish date.
Okay,
Yep.
that makes more sense.
So
All
it
right, and they'll
starts on
start it that
2/7.
following Monday.
Yeah, starts on 2/7, ends on 5/27. So
Got
that's
it.
our.
So that's actually DD package to be prepared. Basically, it's from now until, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
understood. Got it. Thank you.
I still would recommend socializing this proposed schedule with the town planner, Elizabeth Hughes.
Yep. No, we intend to have conversations. Like I said, we just started on Monday. So we're just building it right now, but we wanted to show something for today.
Great.
All right,
Any other
next. Yep.
questions
next.
or?
So then this is also a draft. I just want to show you this. We're going to continue to expand this. Keith is on from Ewing Cole. So working together, we're looking at what the building committee meetings would be, what some design subcommittees might be, and when they would be to work into our work plan. We're going to have more detail. Again, we're building this up as we speak, making sure we're coordinating the different pieces with our engineers. So a lot of this ties to getting all the consultants ramped up and making sure that we have the information needed for you when you need that. So this was a snapshot as we want to talk at the end of the meeting about, a schedule for these meetings and what we'd need when. But right now we're targeting at least monthly meetings by the building committee and also a monthly meeting with the design subcommittee that would be in advance of the building committee meetings. I did not forget about the Sustainable Design Subcommittee. I see Matt Root's hand up. I'm working with Martine. So again, what we want to do is we're meeting internally, we're meeting with our team, we're all plugging into our work plan, and we want to find those sweet spots when we're going to have information in which to come to you with and to make sure that we have productive meetings. And we're going to be scheduling those through Hill. So I think we're going to take on the responsibility of coordinating those meetings with Hill. And reaching out to your committees to say, this is when we'd like to meet and this is our agenda that we want to meet on.
That's great. Thanks, Lorraine. Yeah, just looking for guidance from when you need comments and recommendations from the Sustainability Subcommittee.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, the cadence that we'd like to see here is a monthly building committee meeting. And then like Lorraine said, leading up to that, we would have a check-in with sustainability and the design subcommittees, work with you guys and SMMA to put together an agenda and facilitate those meetings to make sure that the design team is getting everything they need to advance the design moving forward. So, anything else on this, Lorraine?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
So the next item is just the value management log, the open items. So I sorted this just to the open items that we were tracking. And it really boils down to the soil management aspect here in items 1 and 2, a continuation of how we can get the best performance out of the HVAC system, and then fire pump, doing that analysis to see if we actually need it, and then just understanding exactly what we need for acoustical mechanical screen on the rooftop there. So
Yeah, this is just some text we provided at the end of SD to roll into the final SD report, just to give a little bit more description of why those items are open and what needs to be done to close those items. And closing them might mean they remain in the project or they come out of the project, but we just wanted a little bit more definition around, what they included, and particularly some of the conversations we had with ventilation where we said, without increasing the size of the DOS units. So we're looking for increases as maximize our ventilation without increasing the size of the DOS units. The next item, so as I mentioned, we started approximately last week Some of the things that we want to start doing pretty soon is we need to have some meetings set up with Laurie and Justin, some coordinated facilitated meetings to follow up on a couple of open ed planning items that remained coming out of the SD, and talk about facilitating some new meetings with staff to advance the design now that we have the program set. The traffic study is currently being scheduled. I will let you all know when. They're watching the weather because obviously they need to put the tapes down on the road to do the traffic counts, and we don't want them plowed up. So I coordinated with Laurie last week on the middle school schedule, and I'm waiting to hear back from our traffic consultant about what they're targeting. We tentatively scheduled the geotechnical investigations. As soon as this project passed, we got reached out to our geotech and asked them to book the drillers. Drillers are anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks out. So we're tentatively scheduled right now for March 21st to the 24th. With that said, I know there was a lot, I was not involved the last time the geotech was going to be scheduled, and I know there was a lot of angst over the fields. One nice thing, unless the weather gets really warm, is that the ground would still be frozen, which is helpful when we're doing drilling because it minimizes any damage. With that said, we do own repairing the sod, but we would need to return in the spring to repair that sod. So we'll work with the town and the school department and the rec department to coordinate that. But just so everybody understands, we're not going to put sod down on frozen ground. You're not going to be happy with us. We'll want to come back and do that right at the beginning of the season. The Geo Environmental, which ties directly to the soil analysis, we're going to coordinate that with the geotechnical test pits. So we want to get some preliminary sampling done. We're still looking for opportunities to not export, but we want to know what we have so that if we do have to export, we understand whether it's clean or not so clean. And the hydrant flow, our consultant is reaching out through Concord Water Department. I know that said fire department, but water department, to look at whether or not they're going to allow any hydrants to be flowed at this time of year. Typically, some towns say no because of the concern with freezing, although a day like today, you know, they might say yes. So I think it will probably be an answer will be, let's watch the weather and see when we can get it scheduled. And again, as soon as I have a date for that, I will coordinate and communicate that through the chairs. And that will give us the information to know whether or not we need the fire pump. So again, we're trying to get some of this initial information so that we can have a better sense of things as we start DD.
I was just going to make that point. I was like, for those that don't know, that's about the fire pump. Are you going to do an acoustic test?
So we did do the ambient noise test. What we need now is we need we need to advance the design of the selection of the HVAC equipment and start that coordination process with the Centec.
Okay.
So we did receive the ambient noise test.
Very good. Just so everyone knows, that'll tell us how much noise our units can generate without us having to damper it, basically with acoustical screening and whatnot. So back to the point about, you know, what's left on the VE log and moved forward as far as decisions to make. That will inform that decision, how much of that screening we'll need. So yeah, it's pretty quiet over there. But
yeah, I can pull up what it was. And I'm just gonna say I made a commitment in 2022 to go electronic with my notes instead of all my notebooks. So if you see me typing, I'm trying to keep an electronic notebook. So it feels a little funky to be over here typing, but that's
good for you.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
It's only February. 2022 still got quite a few months. All right. Great. This is all good. These are what I would expect for next steps as far as you know, information we need to move the design forward. Does anyone have any questions on any of this?
Actually, I had 2 more items done that we're thinking and trying to get started here. So we want to put together an RFP. We've already started working on an RFP for the commissioning agent. So that would be for both the MEP commissioning and the building envelope commissioning. So we want to work with the town to get that procured, get a commissioning agent on board here in design development so we can integrate them into the review process. So that's something that you'll see here in the coming weeks. And then it'll be the same thing for a structural peer review. We want to get an RFP out for a structural peer review as well, just a safety check, second set of eyes for the structural elements of the building.
those are normal things that would happen on a project, just so everyone knows. Like a commissioning agents, the MSBA normally engages them as a third party, but since we're not under the MSBA, Phil is tackling that process. And then the structural peer reviews, fairly, very common, every project I work on. So those, just so everyone knows, those are common things that we often have going on. So great.
Yep. So for upcoming meetings, what we're
Sorry, Ian.
Go ahead. Yep.
Sorry, just quickly. So those will get sent out to the full committee for review before being released, correct?
That's right. Yeah, we want everybody's review and input on those before they go out. Yep.
Great, thank you.
So what we're proposing for now for upcoming meetings is design subcommittee Thursday, March 17th, and then the next full committee meeting would be Thursday, March 24th. And then some background meetings as well with SMMA.
And I think we need about a month of running room, Matt, which is why you don't see a sustainable design subcommittee on there.
Just as a process thing, Ian, I see a placeholder on the 17th for a building committee meeting. I assume that will switch to this design subcommittee and then a following will be added for the 24th.
Thought I picked the right dates here, but
I'm just looking at my calendar to make sure I don't have any. Oh wait, sorry, I might be on. Hold on.
No, so we were saying it would be
February.
it would be the 3rd.
So the 17th. Okay, there's nothing in my calendar actually.
Okay.
I was looking at today. It's February, not March.
But I expect you all to show up in green, just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, right, right. Luck of the Irish, Lorraine.
It is my day.
Yes. And I love green, so maybe I'll comply. All right, is that all we have today? This might be our fastest meeting ever, if so.
yeah, that was it.
Awesome.
I think we already talked through the changes to the building committee.
Yep. Well, for once, you guys have all the work to do, and we're just here to to be informed. So this is great. Obviously, our professionals are well underway as far as moving forward, and they've got their work cut out for them. Are there any questions from the committee? Otherwise, I'll call for any public questions, comments. No? Okay. Any public
John,
comments?
you've got Steve Stashewski.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, it was a
Hello,
little bit
good
late.
morning.
I missed the beginning of the call where I think you covered what we were about to cover after Hill's presentation. So I just wanted to say I've been kind of listening in the background for a few months, and congratulations, and here we go. So can't wait to
Thanks,
get started. Nice to meet
Thank you
everyone.
for, yeah, welcome. You missed it. We already welcomed you, so the party's ended. No, I'm kidding. I just gave a little background saying that Pat and I had the pleasure of meeting you previously alongside Matt, and welcome to the committee, and we look forward to your input and experience. And if you just want to tell the group a little bit about, like, just a couple
Sure, yeah.
highlights of who you are and what your experience is, it might be helpful to others.
I've got an architectural engineering background, worked at Turner Construction for 10 years, local developer in downtown Boston for 5, and now an offshoot of Tishman Speyer Breakthrough Properties, building lab buildings in Boston. So as a developer, contractor, everything the Hill's been doing, it looks great, and great recommendations so far. And I'll have some specific questions about contract procurement and ongoing operations of the construction of the site, because it's what I've been doing for quite some time, and can't wait to see the school built because I live right down the road at Jenny Dugan Road, and I have 2 boys. My first is going to be in 5th grade when we finish, so we've got to be on schedule.
I already had to explain to my current 3rd grader how she might have to go to Peabody for almost a year. So yeah, that's exciting though. Well, welcome,
Welcome,
Steve.
Stephen. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's great.
Welcome.
Yeah, and yeah, you'll be a huge asset to us. So thank you and welcome. Court Booth, I see your hand.
Yeah, hi, quick question. I guess this will be directed at Carrie. Can you give us a little insight on the contract negotiations and what comes out of your office, what comes out of the finance subcommittee?
Sure. So actually, I hope John Harris is still here. I believe the contracts right now are with John Harris. John, do you have an update on where the contracts are?
Yes, we are reviewing the contracts. We will communicate with that. We've gotten information from SMMA and from Hill, and we will return. We will get that expedited quickly.
Thank you.
Court. Anyone else? If not, I will call for public comment. Hi, Dean Banfield. I see your hand.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you all for all the excellent work that's been done by this committee and the success in getting it over the line. So the scheduling information that we got today was really good and very detailed. But one piece that I think is sort of adjacent, but not actually part of your project, and I'd like some insight and maybe we can get updates on that as we go forward, is the solar arrays in the parking lot and on the roof, et cetera, which some level of coordination is required for. So if you could at least, give us an update about how you're coordinating with either the light plant directly or their solar design associates contractor who's doing their design on the solar array. That would be very helpful because I think it's an aligned, but not this project. So it would be helpful to get something on that.
Thank you, Dean. Great point.
I can potentially at least sort of respond to it in that I have talked to Dave about getting it on the calendar. And we also need to update our contract with SDA in the same way that we're updating the contract for this portion of the project. And then, next steps would probably be meeting as a full group and figuring out a coordination plan. So Dean, we're on the same page. We know that it's important. And we're just in the beginning stages, kind of like the same part that this part of the project is in.
Thanks.
Thanks, Amanda. Any other public comments? I don't see anyone. We jumped over new business. Does anyone have any? I'll take silence as a no. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn unless there's anything I'm missing.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Matt.
Second.
Thank you. All right. Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. Hearing none. Alexa Anderson.
Yes.
Court Booth.
Yes.
Heather Bow.
Yes, thank you.
Frank Cannon. No, Frank. Peter Fashelis.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Lori Hunter.
Yes.
Matt Johnson.
Yep.
Pat Nelson.
Yes.
Chris Popoff.
Yes, thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Matt Root.
Yes.
And Stephen Stashevsky. You missed it. I butchered your name this morning, Stephen. So I said I would get better. I promised I would. So if you say it for me, I will drill it into my brain.
Stashevsky.